I'm Svarnan Sen, Royal Editor at GB News, and joining me today is Royal Commentator Richard Fitzwilliams, and this is a GBN Originals interview. Good morning, Richard. The first thing I wanted to
Good
speak to
morning.
you about today is Prince Harry's lawyer named Kate and William in court documents that was submitted to the High Court in their battle against A&L. I wanted to ask, does this risk damaging Prince Harry's reconciliation efforts with King Charles after Kate and William were named publicly in a legal feud?
Well, I think everyone was very surprised at that. The reports indicated that Harry had not been aware of this, but again, so many briefings are taking place that frequently you don't know what facts are. As we move towards this court case, so we will be able to judge whether anything is included with the links to it rather, but I would strongly suspect that, well, regarding relationships, they haven't got one, and this would certainly not improve any possible reconciliation with the royal family. I mean, again, I don't think there's going to be one, because after Harry saw King Charles, subsequent to that, there were several events that went off extremely successfully and the meeting he trained, and then he went to the media, The Guardian, and then subsequently there have been all forms of briefing. So, I mean, at the moment, that would only any link with William would obviously infuriate, but I don't see any form of reconciliation. It seems to me that what happened when he saw his father was more than enough. That had worked on for a long time, at least according to reports. But equally, considering what happened subsequently, I absolutely despair of things at the moment.
Yeah, and just building on that then, is his current non-existent relationship with William the main thing that's holding back Harry from being able to build bridges with the royal family and possibly find a way where he could integrate Meghan as well?
Well, it was, very possibly, but the answer has to be no. The reason for that is absolute fear. The royal family believe that the Sussexes have a relationship with the media, which is deeply destructive. We saw this in Harry and Meghan documentary for docu-series for Netflix. We saw this in Spare, those are the best known liberty. But what has happened 19 months ago, when Harry last from, he went on Good Morning America, not to preach confidences, but to talk about families and nobles generally. And it's their relationship with the press, the interview with The Guardian, with the pro-Republic newspaper, and what Harry said in it, even though it appeared to be played down by some of the back outlets in the press, was absolutely defrauding. Nothing spare, and yes, he said that his father would be prioritized, but that has to be a two-way street. The Sussexes, they want reconciliation. Harry wants to reconcile properly with his father in a way that would be accepted, not to mention who wider with the royal family. He has to keep away from the media. It seems they cannot do it.
Once the beloved prince, now the outsider no one is waiting for. Prince Harry's dream of reuniting with the royal family is officially shattered. As his legal battles drag on, royal experts say the palace has moved on, and reconciliation? It's not coming. 4 months, whispers surrounded Prince Harry's supposed desire to return, to reconnect, to rebuild bridges, to reclaim a piece of his royal identity. But according to royal insiders, those hopes are done. The palace has grown weary of the drama, the accusations, the lawsuits. Every headline, every interview, every court filing pushes him further away from the family he abandoned. An expert close to royal circles put it bluntly: Harry's reunion dream is over. The damage is permanent. Prince Harry's ongoing legal battles have only deepened the divide. His relentless attacks on the British media, and by extension, the very institutions tied to the monarchy, have made peace impossible. Royal watchers say the timing couldn't be worse. While King Charles is focused on stability and duty, Harry is back in court, reigniting old wounds. One commentator said, Every lawsuit, every grievance reminds the palace why they can't trust him. He's fighting ghosts while everyone else has moved on. Angela Levin and other royal commentators have been crystal clear. Harry's reputation is beyond repair. His actions have alienated him not just from his family, but from the British public. You can't demand love while launching attacks, Levin said, and Harry has spent years doing just that. The expert consensus is unanimous. No matter how many olive branches Harry waves, the trust is gone.
Yeah, and then at the weekend we saw Meghan making a very public appearance in Paris. Is this now part of Harry and Meghan expanding into Europe? We've seen Harry do a few engagements across Europe as well. He's obviously visited Ukraine. Will we see them doing engagements that are closer to the UK, even if Meghan has a reluctance to actually come back to the UK?
Well, I certainly don't see Meghan coming with the UK with a huge minus rating polls. I notice, however, that both of them have a plus rating in Times poll taken short while ago in the United States. So obviously they have a great deal of hope for that. So far as Meghan's visit to Paris, I knew she's a friend of the creative director of Balenciaga. Now that made perfect sense for her to appear because she was actually appearing with A-listers. The Sussexes have a huge limit when it comes to their people, for example, appear on Meghan podcasts, or who will, for example, appear on the Love Meghan cookery service, which is, putting it mildly, appear to be very disappointing. They don't have A-listers. They don't attract them. And in Paris, I mean, there was Meghan Winter, there was Anne Hathaway, Barcelona, completely different situation. And there were two problems. First problem was that she wore, I said, a disastrous dress that looked like somebody's shroud. That's just my opinion. But the second problem was apparently filmed returning from the event. She filmed in the vicinity of the tragic crash which Diana died in 1997. And whereas that video has been taken down, it was extremely insensitive. It should never have been included. And frankly, if you are doing PR, you can't suddenly put what pops up, which could be, in this case, was a disastrous mistake. I accept that it wasn't intended, but the Sussexes, given their profile, and they have a lot of pull, I mean, that's roughly not the event worldwide publicity, nonetheless have to take great care of what they put up. And this was a bad mistake and something that Harry would not have appreciated.
Yeah, so sources close to Meghan stressed that there was no intention behind that, and that they were actually left furious at publications or people on social media trying to make that link. But you feel that despite this, it was a bad mistake and it needs to be addressed.
I accept totally that it wasn't intended to be hurtful at all. Of course you wouldn't. The point is, it should not, if you're in the position that she's in, or at the Sussexes are in, they can't put up what they like. What you should do in the course of a media strategy, remember how carefully they're supposed to plan a media strategy. You can't help feeling sometimes it's absolutely disastrous, and I wonder if they listen to it. But you simply cannot put up material that hasn't been in shape. And material also, I say, it gave rise to a lot of comment. And frankly, proof of the mistake was that it was taken down. Of course it was. As for the coverage of the event, who she met and so forth, I mean, that was par for the course. That was, I thought, a very good idea. But that video most certainly wasn't, and it certainly wasn't checked with any PR team.
Yeah, so do you think Meghan needs to change her social media strategy, put it through a PR agency or have it vetted by people in her team, I suppose she'd feel that risks damaging her authenticity when it comes to posting online.
I don't know. I don't. I think that they've so often done their own thing. Look at Harry going on the BBC in May. I mean, it was supposed reportedly to be about 8 or 10 minutes. It turned out to be over half an hour, and it was very erratic. So I don't think that the Sussexes, sometimes I think they depart from the strategy. I mean, you have a large number of people also leaving their employ. Meghan have always strongly denied any bullying charges. The facts are, I do suspect that they are demanding to work for. Facts are, however, that it is completely unclear when they follow the advice of their PR team and when they don't. Who would have suggested putting an interview in The Guardian after a successful week like that? Makes no sense to me at all.
Okay, Rich, we're going to do some quick fire questions now. How important to Britain's identity is the royal family?
I think the royal family is synonymous with Britain itself. It's certainly something that is highly respected. It has a huge worldwide profile. It's linked with the ability to manage ceremonial in a way, and we saw this with Trump's state visit most recently, that no other country can match, and has a source of national unity going back over 1,000 years, having an important constitutional position and also cachet when it comes to charity, and as well as that is the tourist aspect. It's a huge bargain.
Would Britain lose global political standing without the royal family?
I don't think Britain would be Britain without the royal family. I think globally, everybody not only knows what it is, Buckingham Palace and the White House are the two best things in the world, and it's also the coronation of 200 countries represented. But if you get that big of one value for money, it's in that.
The royal family sees his every move as a PR stunt, not an act of reconciliation. And then there's Meghan. Palace sources say her influence continues to shape Harry's decisions, and not always for the better. Hollywood's obsession with scandal and spin has become their downfall. While the royal family prizes silence and dignity, Harry and Meghan trade privacy for profit. Experts warn that as long as Meghan remains his closest advisor, true reconciliation will never happen. As one royal insider put it, they live in a world of publicity. The monarchy lives in a world of purpose. Those worlds can't coexist. The phrase "too late" has never felt more fitting. Royal experts believe Harry has crossed a line from which there is no coming back. The bridges are burned, the doors are closed, and the sympathy has run out. King Charles, reportedly heartbroken at first, has now turned resolute. The monarchy will endure, with or without Harry. And judging by the public mood, that's exactly what it's doing. Prince Harry once dreamed of reconciling, of reclaiming his royal role. But after years of attacks, interviews, and legal warfare, that dream lies in ashes. The palace has moved on. The family has moved on. The question is, will Harry ever learn to do the same? What do you think? Is there still hope for Harry, or is his royal redemption story officially over? Let me know in the comments. Subscribe for unfiltered royal analysis, weekly truth bombs, and no-spin commentary on the House of Windsor.